Craig, your first squad as head coach of Wales. First of all, how happy are you with how the squad's looking ahead of these first two games?
No, I'm really happy. There was one or two injuries, but that was, you can expect it. Now we've got to get through this weekend as well. So it's that's a little bit strange because you're looking every weekend, you know, if anyone picked up any knocks, everyone's fine. But we've been okay on that front. Like I said, one or two you sort of expect. But yeah, I'm really happy with the squad.
How much did you enjoy the process of putting the squad together? Was it stressful? Was it a lot of work?
No, it wasn't. It was, I've sort of had the squad planning available to me for a while now. So you're always moving pieces, what you see, and also looking on the opposition for the next two games, what you see and what you feel you're going to need for those two games. So that's where I like the balance of the squad. And even if one got pulled out, I was able to bring one in. But I was sort of trying to anticipate, just in case he's missing, who would look then. So you try and build about two squads, but you try and double up, then treble up, and try and create similar profiles. So if one goes, then you're able to move one there. And yeah, so that's been, you know, it's where I've always looked at planning. But yeah, it's been fine. Honestly, I'm actually quite looking forward to the squad. When
you were putting the list together, what were you looking for from the players on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, Craig?
Off it, on what I know of the players and conversations I've had with players, but also how well they speak about the group. I don't see any problems there. How they behave, how they represent Wales. They've been doing it for a long time, a lot of them, and do it to the highest level as well. Very respectful, very humble group, very hardworking. So that's great to be able to move into a group like that as well. But also quality-wise, I believe there's a flexibility within the group. One or two players I know very, very well. I know can play 2-3 different positions. Which I like. I like to be able to adapt players during a game. And there's one or two as well with speed and behind those type of profiles. We have a good number of, which excites me a lot. Yeah, so as a balance of a squad, I got to be honest, I looked at before taking a role. I was happy with before it, but actually going through watching the games as the games have been going on, the season started already, it's been nice as well. I've enjoyed it as well. I've enjoyed watching them play. Oh,
good. These squad announcement interviews always feel like a bit of a checklist. So we'll start with the goalkeepers, if that's okay, because that's been a bit of a problem area, it's fair to say, with players not playing regularly for their clubs. We've got Karl Darlow included in the Wales squad for the first time. What was the thinking behind that?
A quality goalkeeper. He hasn't been involved before. I don't know the situation with that. I try and look at everything from a fresh, brand new start. I was able to have a conversation with him. He was very open, was very keen to be involved. So that was great for me because I've watched him for a number of years. He has quality in an area where we need it. Of course, he has the same problem that our other two goalkeepers that I've selected have at this present moment of lack of playing time. It's not always great, but they are quality goalkeepers. And then the three of them will get the opportunity to play who trains the best throughout the week.
What does Karl offer you that's currently not in the squad at the moment?
We have we have, like with Danny as well, he has experience. But Karl has also experience of club football. He knows what good looks like. He's been around, very good coaches. He's been at very good football clubs. He's kept himself in really good shape. He's really hungry. And the way he talked as well was actually quite refreshing. How much he wanted to be part of it, but also how much he wanted to help the group. He wasn't expecting to start, but also what he could, his leadership values, his principles, how he could help the younger players, how he could set an example, was good to hear. And I got to be honest, my take back from it, I could only see as a positive by involving him. So we have quality, we have someone who's hungry, someone who wants to develop people and players as well, and lend his experience to them. So it was an easy decision for me.
You've got some familiar faces that have come back into the group. We're talking Ole Cooper, Sorba Thomas, Mark Harris. It feels like maybe not a second chance, that's probably not the correct term to use, but it feels like a new opportunity, for those players.
Look, there's always opportunities. Like the squad I pick now will not be the same squad I pick probably next time. Or after that. It never is. Like if you look at a team that starts a season, it's never the team that finishes. Even if you look at a game, it's never the team that finishes. So it allows me to have a look at players closely. Those players you mentioned, the players I know, players I've worked with, players I really like. Ole Cooper is a player, even like I just off the top of my head then when we were at Burnley, he was one of the best players we played against in that year. He gave us real big problems. So being able to watch his development again, I've already seen his development before that, obviously with a relationship with his father as well. But he's a player I like, high energy, clever player, plays in between the lines, a player who I believe has more to offer. And I'm sure he'll be able to do that with Swansea with the coaching he gets with Luke. So yeah, he was quite an easy choice for me, he was.
Just looking at the names that you've picked, it feels like a very attack-minded squad, which I'm sure will excite a lot of fans. And when you look at the options you've got Liam Cullen, we've talked about Mark Harris, Kumas, you've got Kiefer Moore, Brennan, obviously we know. How important was it to have those different options, and how exciting is that for you?
Yeah, I believe in different options, but you know, I don't get caught up on like we attack with a certain amount of players, so we attack with 5. Now that's 2 pockets, 2 wingers, 1 forward, but then it might be 3 forwards. So you can look at it the way like I like a set number, but I also like then the players underneath and being able to have effect. But also defensively, I love those players with high energy that are able to come back and compete for the ball as well. You can't be staying up there as well. We have to work as a group, and the number it looks attacking, but believe it or not, the work rate I expect from players and sort of demand, it's a tough job as well. It's a real tough job because you're the first line of defence. So it does look an attacking group, but they will be very, very disciplined, but also their work rate for the team, because the team comes first. That'll reward them later on.
I'd like to ask about the captaincy, if that's okay. Aaron Ramsey has been included.
It's a big issue, captaincy here.
We're all just nosy.
Are we more of a rugby nation where it's actually really important? Because in football, we're not. But I understand it international-wise. I really do. It's a huge honour. I was captain for the country, so. But I also give her up as well. I also was wanted to hand it to someone else who I felt were going to be able to qualify for major tournaments. I didn't feel I was going to be around for the next tournament, so I wanted them to concentrate, and I can lend with my experience of what I was then as a captain and be able to help guide him towards that next group. But the captain with Aaron, he's already captain, so I didn't see a need for changing that. I always see leadership groups. I like a group of around about 5 players from different positions. I'm not worried about the age. You know, it doesn't mean the 5 oldest players, you know, it's, you mix that, players who have an influence within the squad. But I like to involve in tactics, I like to involve in training, I like to get their feedback of what they see. Where I've always, like I feel like I have to say this, there's some non-negotiables as well. It's not their running, there's some bits I will demand, but we work together. You know, it's, my aim is to help him improve as players. To help them be the best they can be. In return, they're going to help me become a better coach. That we do this together, and that's why it's important as a leadership group than actual just one person. So I believe, I would like a lot of players believing that they went onto the pitch, they were captains.
Last few from me. The under-21s have got crucial games coming up. How much have those games influenced who you could pick, if at all, with conversations you've had with Matty?
None. If I wanted to pick 5, 6, 7 under 21 players, I'll pick them. So there's been no... I picked 2 at this present moment. There might be more come the weekend. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Of course, we want the under 21s to be able to qualify. But to be fair, Matty was, look, wherever you need, whoever you need, call them up. You know, the senior squad's way more important. So it was never, there was never a feeling of that, nor would I expect it to be. But me looking back as well, also, I'd love the under 21s to be able to qualify, because I believe it put into perspective of the good work that's already been done from the younger age groups. I always felt that if the younger age groups were qualifying for major tournaments, it's only going to benefit the senior squad. Of course it would. So fingers crossed they're able to do so.
Your backroom staff as well. You've got your team together. How pleased are you that? Because it sounds like you got everyone you wanted, Craig.
Yeah, very happy with it. Like Crofty, someone I played with, someone I've sort of watched from afar as well. Seen his coaching journey. I even remember him at Newport starting out. But then when he was at Brighton, the conversations I had with him, up against each other last year as well, spent a bit of time with him. But also a lot of work with De Zerbi, how he looked to work certain bits. There's a lot of really clever habits that you don't quite see that he's really been given. And listening to him talk and how he was able to move that into... So it's going to hugely benefit the players, but also myself. Pete Kramer's, he was at Man City for 5-6 years. We moved, well, when we went to Burnley, we were able to bring him with us at Burnley, and a lot of the success on identity of playing, the structure of playing was down to Pete. And so I was over the moon. I was surprised that he was willing to come, but grateful, because I believe the players are going to have huge benefit of him. Madge, so Magson is a...
The CV speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, it does. You know, we're talking about, you know, a Welsh coach, been to 2 finals, 2 major, like, international major finals, like with the Euros, you know, World Cup semi-finals, when Wales were like 2016, got to the semi-finals and that. So his experience in tournament football is incredible. So to be able to bring that in to the squad as well, it's massive for us. Ryland, we all know. So Ryland has been in the Welsh setup. He was part of the 2016 group as well. He's obviously gone elsewhere, but his experience of what he knows and being able to bring back into the Welsh setup is a huge benefit. James Robury worked with the Wales under 17s. So that pathway, which it's very important to me, that we're able to keep an eye on younger players that he's been involved with, but also a very good coach. But even if I look at all these, they all come through the Welsh coaching setup as well, which is really important. For me, it is. I know to some people it might not be important, but I believe we have our education program to coaching is one of the best that is out there. And actually all the coaches we have now are all credit to that as well. So it's nice. It's a nice feeling. And I gotta be honest, going into, I don't believe I could have picked a better group that complement each other, but also with the football ideas that we have, but also without the ball as well, that we hold dear. I'm really excited to be working with the group.
Finally, Craig, you've got a few days now until the players get together. First of all, how excited are you for that moment where they all walk through the door? And also, what do these next few days look like for you from a work perspective?
Next few days, a little bit of travelling. I go to Anglesey tomorrow.
Lovely.
I've still got a lot on today. Tomorrow morning at Dragon Park, and the 17th I think are playing, or they've got an in-house game. So go and watch a little bit of that, but then shoot up to Anglesey, do a talk, then travel back. Saturday, go and watch a game. Then Sunday, report to the hotel, everyone reports. So yeah, so it's going to be busy, but good. It's a good period and looking forward to it. Do I know what I'm going to be like on a match day? No, I don't. But I'm also looking forward to that. It's you know, to be manager of your national team is an honour. It's an honour, and it's only few people get this. So I've sort of come to the conclusion over the last month, I'm going to enjoy everything about it. And I believe, especially over the last month, I've been able to as well. Just embrace it, smile, take as much on as I can, and just like, and just, you know, cherish this type of moment, because it ain't going to be here forever. But I want to be able to look back at this with real fond memories, that I was able to contribute to Welsh football, not just in a football way, but also outside of it as well, of being able to improve football for every age group, for girls, boys, you name it, everyone who ever wants to kick a ball, to hopefully be able to have a positive impact in that over the next few years. That'll leave me with, that would be probably more important to me then, because I believe the football side will be able to take care of itself, but leave a legacy for me that I'll be able to look back on and say I'll be really proud of.
Craig Bellamy, diolch yn fawr. Thank you.
Diolch.